Business is very tough if it's really easy to enter and really easy to exit. And that's good, I think, for us personally, but it's bad for the industry. And when people quit, do they say good things?
No, bad thing about
Oh, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, you didn't work. You were out of the game in 3 days.
True.
Right? That they'll badmouth it and say that doesn't work. And they'll blame you, and they'll blame the company, and they'll blame the industry. Okay? That used to happen in franchising. In franchising, 1957, 7 attorney generals were going to ban franchising in the U.S., in their state. Because after the Golden Arches, there was silver arches and then bronze arches. Don't spend $80,000, it was $80,000 then in 1957 to buy a McDonald's. Ours is only $15,000, it's just as good. They'd collect 200 people doing this, and they'd take off to Tahiti. And it happened all the time, until books were written. Franchising for Dummies. How to select a good franchising. If you go online, or you go to what's left of brick and mortar, Barnes and Noble, they still exist. You look, and then in the business section, there is a whole section now on network marketing, so that you can educate yourself. And we have an industry association. We're trying to upgrade it. You can work to your own schedule. Uh-oh, that's a problem. You're your own boss. Oh, God, I've got to clean the fridge. I don't want to make any phone calls. There's no, who loves inventory? I don't. I run a business that pays me and my partner about $500,000 a year, and I've got $2,000 of inventory sitting on top of the grand piano in the living room. Beware of companies that front load. Now, we have things called limited time offers. Do not buy lots of inventory. I always buy a little extra because I know the product's so good that someone says, I just want 1 month. They're going to be back in 2 months and want it again. But basically, you pre-sell. And beware of any companies that say, here, you got to buy $5,000 worth of product. That is a Ponzi scheme. Okay? Who loves paperwork? Who likes to make payroll? Who likes to pay a landlord? Well, you don't do any of this. If you love politics, water cooler, who's sleeping with the boss? You know, you get romances in our business, but there's not a lot of this. And if you miss this, and a lot of people are, I know people who are drama queens and kings, and they love working in a company for this kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, that's just not in our culture. It's high tech. You know, it's a direct distribution, but it's also high touch. And you have to follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So, you're taking the Vitality you got. Oh no, I put it in the garage. I forgot to bring it into the kitchen. Go get it. Are you taking Vitality? Yes, I'm getting kind of my pulse is rising. What's going on? You must follow up. Because is Nordstrom's going to call someone and say, how's that skincare line? Are they going to call you up in 2 days and say, how's the skincare you spent $437 on yesterday? No. So the ability to give high touch is amazing. I love it. It's like my hedge fund business. It doesn't matter the length of my skirt, the color of my skin, anything, it's all in the numbers. And it eventually comes down to leadership. But my mother was horrified when she heard that a Harvard Business School graduate was going to do network marketing. Oh my God. I failed. She'd rather I'd be junior vice president at Bank of Hawaii making $37,000 a year and unable to afford groceries, because that had some sort of prestige. You can start part-time, and most people do. There are very few people who jump in. But you got to be organized. You got to cut out something in your life. There's no PV in TV.
Yeah.
So watching TV is something I taught. PV is a word for our volume, our personal volume. It's a global business. That's fantastic. If the economy in Washington ever turns down, which we know it never will, because the government relentlessly grows, so you guys are in one of those magic places which will never have a recession. Well, a little bit in 2008. But if anything turns down, we're in 54 countries. The downside is really you can do things by Facebook, but it really helps to be there in person. And you do have to travel. And you guys travel, right? Do you like travel? Sometimes. Sometimes not so much. You really do. To build a global business, you really have to like it. The number one reason why people don't like our business is this: rejection. Does this resonate with anyone?
Yes.
Okay. If let me, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting your name.
Dina.
Dina, of course, you're Dina. So Dina, and I think you know the answer to this. Dina, this may not interest you at all, but if there were a magic question that you never felt like you were selling, and the person you spoke to never felt like they were being sold to or pushed, would you want to know what that magic question is?
Yes.
Okay, that is the magic question. Let's just do a little bit of grammar. And this is the kind of training we give you. This may not interest you at all. What did I just do?
That means I don't push you or I don't convince you.
I lean back.
Yeah, you mean
Did I create curiosity?
that. Yes.
When I say it's not going to interest you, hey, wait a minute, maybe I'm interested. And then it's what's called a basic qualifying question. So if there were this benefit, not will you buy it, not will you join tomorrow or today, but would you at least take a good hard look at it? Would you at least want to know about it? So there are ways that we teach you. And yes, a lot of people are not very good at sales. But sales is a skill that runs all through your life that can be taught with simple language. And you know what? It's not just about Nu Skin. It's about everything in your life. It's about giving people space and respect and coming to a mutual agreement instead of forcing anything on anyone, whether we're a parent or a spouse. And everything that we do, we like to say sometimes, ours is a self-development journey masquerading as a business opportunity. To become better at Nu Skin, you're going to have to become better at being yourself. And that's what we're going to help you do. So very quickly, because I'm conscious of the clock and I might fall asleep on you. If you don't fall asleep on me, I might check out here in about 10 minutes. I'm still, is that what I'm selling? Keep it going. Somebody I could.
Did you wake up a little bit?
Yeah, thank you. So we have a line of essential oils which goes right through the olfactory nerve into the brain, and now I suddenly have energy. Thank you. Amway started this business, actually another company started in 1946, but again the magic year, 1951, and they started with dishwashing liquid that was concentrated, and housewives told each other about it, and it expanded. Now you can get everything, a Brooks Brothers suit, a GM car, the differentiation, I'm just not going to be very critical. It's also a 3-level breakaway system. Ours is 6, and for those of you who understand the difference, when I talk to Amway people who've been doing it for 10 years and I show them our compensation plan, the life goes out of their eyes. They realize they picked the wrong car 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. If you're going to pick a business, don't fall in love with the first girl who walks through the door. Many people do in network marketing. They'll come into something like this and say, oh, this sounds great. I like the leverage, and I'm an Amway distributor. And I've tried to use some of their products. Nikken is an amazing company. They are private. Ionized water, which has some validity about the pH of our bodies inside. But you sell a ionizer to your friend, $2,000, and basically it works for their lifetime, and you don't have any recurring income. And then you sell them these magnets that they wear and they lie on. There's absolutely no scientific basis, but it cures cancer if you listen to us. But amazing, and Nikken. And the other one is in Japan is Mickey Prune. Prune juice! It's incredible. It's called, in Japan, it's called giri, the obligation, the inner networks of obligation that people have. And then they've added vitamin C. And pretty much network marketing companies can buy from third parties any product they want. And so pretty soon, every network marketing company begins to look like the Nu Skin catalog. And there's a guy named, there's one manufacturer who's kind of makes things a lot. His name is David Sandoval. He started his own company finally called Purium. Herbalife is weight loss. It's listed on the New York Stock Exchange. It's controversial. I don't understand their comp plan. I've looked at it 5 times. And everyone who goes on their shakes and loses weight, as soon as they go off the shakes, they gain it all back and more. But it's growing really fast in the Latino community. And we started to pay attention to this, that actually Latinos are outside, everything's a pyramid, including our society. Isn't it a pyramid? For years, 240 years, white Caucasians at the top of the pyramid. And now, we're a nation of immigrants, get that. And a lot of the immigrants and people who aren't white Caucasian, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, like unfortunately me, are figuring out that there've got to be better ways. And the Latino community is running really hard with Herbalife, and we're starting to run with them now too. So Nu Skin is, I'm not sure we're the number 5 in sales, we may be number 7, and there's a list from the Direct Sales Association that ranks every year. And we're about anti-aging. Melaleuca, a private company, I used to be a customer because they have some terrific non-toxic household cleansers. I figured out I'd just buy tea tree oil, which we're about to release, and mix it with anything, and I have a Melaleuca product. There's 1,000 new social businesses or networking MLM companies that start every single year in the U.S., and 5 years later, only 5 of them are still in business. It's a for $10,000 in this laptop, I can start a business selling Sharpies. Hey, buy 5. Get your friends to buy 5. Okay, we're in business, and here's the comp plan, and it's fully, and we're in business. And the average life is about 2.5 years. And they're gone. And you've burned all your friends, and your social capital is gone. And that's the problem, and why we have a poor reputation. That's why you have to pick carefully. So how do you choose? So one, you want to be in a growth industry. Ours is health, wellness, and anti-aging. Do you think this is growing?
Yes.
It's not just boomers, is it? My sons talk with their friends about the protein powder, so they'll be more buff and more awesome for the girls. You want an edge. Whatever your product is, it's got to be something that nobody else has. So our brand is called ageLOC. I'll come to that. We've got 75 research PhD scientists on staff, 150 on an advisory board that reads like a who's who of anti-aging. We have a scanner we'll talk about very briefly. It's the only device that can measure in 30 seconds on the palm of your hand whether you need to be taking vitamins and your current vitamins and nutrition are inadequate. And guess what? Something like 95% of the vitamins sold out on the market through multi-level marketing fail our scanner. And third-party validation. You want to have people who are not involved with the company say it's good. So our skincare is a lot of it's developed at the Stanford, at Stanford, which is the Nu Skin Institute. It's the Graduate School of Dermatology. It's called the Nu Skin Institute. And there's a sentimental reason why that is. We are the only nutraceutical company in the pharmacological physician's desk reference. We're the only nutraceutical company, and you can go onto, physician's desk reference, go onto their site, so Pharmanex, and you can look, and I think there are 8 products, including our new one just came on there. Consumer Labs ranks us #1, and here's where I wake up usually. This is my karaoke moment. Those of you who know this, please join me. 5 golden rings. Thank you. We're the only company that has powered the U.S. Olympic team for a total of 10 years. And it took us 3 years of due diligence. We no longer are the official because they hiked the fee to $100 million, and we'd rather pay our distributors in the USOC. But it's no other company. I mean, I think the bobsled team is sponsored by some little vitamin company. It is global. We're in 53, soon to be 54 markets, so we talked about that. You want to see a pipeline. What this company I'm going to show you is a consumer biotech company. Is biotech huge?
Yes.
It's becoming huge. And you have the ability, without becoming a PhD or becoming a pharma rep, which means you will have to look smoking hot and wear a short skirt. That's what the pharma reps do. So without doing that or becoming a PhD, you can get involved. And if you're into biotech, it's all about pipeline. And we'll show you what that is. You want a company that you can trust. Mm-hmm. We've been around for 30 and going on 31 years. We're listed on the New York Stock Exchange. You can check everything. Dun & Bradstreet, 5A1 rating. Less than 1% of companies that have that rating. Our balance sheet is solid. We're going to be around for your children and your grandchildren. And the business you build now can be passed to your children tax-free. There's no other business you can build a legacy where the IRS doesn't step in and kill it, because they don't know how to value these businesses. Forbes in 2010 online ranked us as, 2012 I think, #5 most trusted company. We've been tested, 30 years, believe me. In 1991, the Assistant Attorney General for the state of Michigan, which is Amway, accused us of running an illegal pyramid scheme. And Barbara Wawa, who's the Oprah Winfrey of her day back then, got on national TV and said, "It's a pyramid scheme!" We lost 50% of our distributors in 3 months. The only survivors were people like these two who built their business on the love of the products instead of let's get rich. Guess what? Same thing happened in 2014. January in China. Some idiot from Hong Kong pitched a global compensation scheme to a reporter who then reported it to the Communist Party who was in the China Daily, and we basically had to shut down our business in China. And we're only just recovering. We're the template company now for the Direct Sales Association. If you're one of the 1,000 network marketing companies that start every year, come on, sell 5, and you decide we're going to have a code of ethics, and you go to the DSA, they'll give you basically our code of ethics and the business plan. So, it's good we've been tested by fire. I've met company management. They are fantastic. My whole job as a stock analyst was to go through this kind of thing and then look at management. And Niskin management is as trustworthy as I've ever seen. They've made some mistakes, and all people make mistakes. We're also, part of that is it's 5% of what we do, but 95% of who we are. It's called a force for good. And I often look, as I'm in the waiting room about to meet the CFO of a company of stock I'm interested in, I'll read the mission statement. And our mission is to be a force for good throughout the world by empowering people to improve lives, rewarding business opportunities, innovative products, and an enriching, uplifting culture. Thanks for helping. Another karaoke moment. So, and they live this. Those of you who've been to Provo or you feel it, and there just isn't, in most of corporate America, there just isn't that. And part of it is the hardwired, the so-called pyramid, which is the inverse pyramid. We only get ahead by helping people. And it's not just our downlines, but by helping sidelines as well. And those of you who don't know that jargon, I apologize, but it's an amazing culture that's coming. Last thing is it worth my valuable time? Is the compensation. You gotta look at this, because there are a lot of companies. This is not approved by, we are the highest payout in the industry. This is not approved by compliance. And it hasn't been repeated. In 1998, the Thunderbird University at International Business School at University of Arizona surveyed and said, what are the top income makers make at these kinds of companies? And they took the top producers would be the top 1% of the 20% who do the business. Remember, ours is 88% consumers, 12% are in the business, and basically it's around 80-20. In a good company, most of them are consumers, and they have to be. Not everyone's entrepreneurial. And I look at this, and remember, my yardstick is $500,000 a year. There's only one company I would be involved with. They were the other companies on this chart were so embarrassed they've forbidden any of their distributor force to be surveyed about this kind of. I just think it's all coming together. Clearly, anti-aging is the trend, health and wellness, Facebook, technology, communication, email. Remember when we started? Remember VHS tapes? And remember the first fax machine that would roll like this? And phone calls were $3 a minute just to the next state. Now it is just amazing. And basically people live, on the internet. And there's a huge need for supplemental income. Finally, even my cohort, the damn white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, what's happening to a lot of my friends? There are a significant number of them who are going splat at the end of their life. They don't have enough money to retire. And they're suddenly waking up that, whoever's president, they don't have any money in the wallet to pay for their comfortable retirement. So everyone I know, the aspirationals, the Vietnamese who are running really hard with this, Latinos are starting to move. Everyone is, because they realize that there's no sugar daddy out there to take care of them. Now let's get to the science. I'm going to be a little bit quick because I've been too animated about this. Maybe you should put the peppermint oil away.
I don't know about.
So this for me was why I engaged really in a science side 8 years ago. And there's been two breakthroughs. I said the microchip and the human genome. So in 2003, we decoded the human genome. We know what every gene in the body does. Not. There was 80% of it that was unexplained. And it was like, a sort of casual answer on an exam. Assume this does nothing. And in the 12 years since then, we've actually been studying this 80% of the material, and they're called gene switches. And they sit on top of the genes. And everything we eat, drink, smoke, yoga, meditate, love, fly at altitude, affects genetic expression. And we're starting to study it, and we use things called gene chips. So Affymetrix is who we use. There are two companies, Agilent and Affymetrix, make these. Don't buy the stocks. They're not very good businesses. But basically, they'll take a drop of Dina's blood, put it on a slide, put it in, and we can tell what every gene is turned on and turned off. Then we experiment with you. Here, drink green tea for a month. Here, have some ginkgo biloba, vitamin C, vitamin E. We round up all the usual suspects. And we don't use Dina because she's, like all of us, our life's out of control. We use mice. And what we're doing is trying to get a young, and this is the output of a gene heat map. This is turned on and that's turned off, and this could be anything. This could be for your skin, this could be for your energy levels, your immune system. And what we're able to do when you get older, oh no, things are kind of going wrong. And what we do is we try all these different ingredients to reset the genes back to a younger function. And so we get about a 92% heat map, it's called a heat map match. No one else is doing this, not at the consumer level. There are companies that are researching Alzheimer's and some other things with going through $100 million. Yeah.
Is that personalized to the individual, or is it just generic on?
We're going to be getting there soon, and there's a skincare product that's personalized to the individual that comes out next year.
And
but right now, it's pretty much, we're 99.9, we're really pretty much the same at this sort of level.
yeah. And do you do anything on microbiome?
Micro.
So that's all the bacteria that are in your body, in your gut. It's basically gut bacteria, which may have even greater influence on your health than on the genes you use.
We don't measure those. What we do is we have a product. It's a probiotic product to try and restore the bacillus in the stomach. But it's very broad. We're not looking at which bacillus and what's the genetic function of each bacillus.
Thank you.
And he has a good point, because the gut is where the immune system starts. So we hijacked this company called LifeGen, which was doing research into a phenomenon called caloric restriction. And the effect that when you basically starve any creature, it triggers a change in the genes which control the engines of the cell called the mitochondria. Well, we took the research and said, stop! This whole longevity and health thing, that's not lucrative. People want to look better. People spend 10 times as much money on how they look as how they feel. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get visible results. So we've taken all of our products and really shifted our skincare into ageLOC. And these are the results, and you'll see it pretty quickly, in which the lines and wrinkles begin to fade and the age spots. Now you Asians, I'm married to an Asian, you have stronger skin because your elastin, your collagen doesn't give out as quickly as we weak white people. But you have pigmentation issues. When you go in the sun, you're going to get freckles and age spots. My wife Leah, we play tennis 3 or 4 times a week in Hawaii. Gone. All of her freckles are gone. And her friends are saying, "Where are you getting your laser treatments?" And she goes, "I'm not telling you." It's so frustrating. This is a body spa. The FDA is evaluating it right now as a low-grade medical device. It's that effective. You can still get it from, some of us still have it in inventory. It's a woman who's pregnant and, she's kind of folded over and, what's that, just kind of a month later, it's time to get pregnant again. This is from our Latin American sales force. We love them, but they're willing to let lots of things hang out. And really, if you go into Google and just put any body part in body spa, you'll get some pretty amazing videos. So the part that got me passionate was the nutrition side. This is a scanner. It's a generation ago. We have one that's smaller. It's about yay size, and it runs on battery and Bluetooth. We haven't been scanned. We have a couple of them thereafter. What it does is measure your antioxidant levels, as defined by something called your carotenoids, which are like carrots or beta-carotene, like a plant-based. We're the only one who has it, and so therefore we're the only ones who can say, you know, are your vitamins being absorbed? Oops. We'll come back to that, don't worry. So this is data. We've actually scanned 20 million people. It's the largest database of health in the history of the human race. And it's pretty clear. If you're a smoker, 75,000 free radicals in a stick of cigarette. And you're just killing yourself. It's very hard. Smokers I know who go on our products, they can't really raise their score. It's a battle that they're causing themselves to lose. If you're overweight, your fat-soluble vitamins have more fat to fuse through, so you're somewhat in trouble. If you fly at altitude, I just flew 2 5-hour flights. When I get my scan score, I'll drop a significant amount. Every 3 hours at altitude is a full chest X-ray of radiation. Does anyone know what the 36-hour no-fly rule is for flight attendants? If you've flown enough, you're not allowed to get back on the airplane for 36 hours, which is sometimes why your flight won't take off, because the crew is under rest. It's not fatigue, it's that they're re-entering the Fukushima reactor too soon. The body needs to rest. Breast cancer is hitting flight attendants at an earlier and earlier age. If you talk to anyone in the industry, and in Hawaii we have a lot of flight attendants and crews, and they all talk about it. The senior flight, the pilots are wearing radiation badges under their uniform. If management knew that, they'd get a spanking.
Do pilots get it? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the pilots do as well. I mean, talk to someone in the industry. Is cancer the exit strategy for most of you? And it's not a strategy, but it's most of us are checking out with cancer. And this is really the issue. And between electromagnetic radiation and screens, you know, it's exposing yourself to a lot more in our lifestyle. So to increase your score, have more fresh fruits and vegetables. The average American has 2 servings, and there's less in there. If you look at USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture data on our fruits and vegetables, the nutrition has fallen 90% in 100 years. We're growing more crops with less in them. So it's very hard to get them. This is why you need a supplement. The supplement industry falls down. Did anyone see the news in March of this year? The Attorney General of New York State issued an injunction against Target, Walgreens, Walmart, and GNC that their leading herbal supplements had 0 of what was on the label. So the other problem with multi-level markup is not that you're getting 1 to 5% ingredient cost, but there's no quality control. It's passed through so many hands between the producer and the person who sells it, and they don't care. They're just in it to make that 4 times markup. So this is a product we launched 2 years ago called TR90, and this you have to be a product of the products, and I was this is peak sumo fighting trim for me. I was clinically obese, 28% body fat. You know, my belly was causing me to lean over. And let's see, then I went on for 3 months. So it was just a 3-month program. My body fat went down 5 percentage points. It's now a little over 20%. I'm basically on this for life. I travel a lot. I bring the shakes with me. I don't have to worry about getting something in overpriced food in an airport that's unhealthy. My muscle, men should be 34% and over in muscle, and I went to 35%. I never, you know, I started drinking beer in 11th grade, so I've never really had a six-pack. I had a six-pack of beer, but I don't know, stomach. For me, that's pretty remarkable. So I'm going to talk about the pipeline next, but this is just, let's show you the money quickly. We have the 2004 numbers. I need to put these up. But basically, these numbers are how many people are you helping along the way. The first step is to move from being a customer to a distributor, which is free, and there's nothing you have to do. But then to become an executive, there's certain things to do. You need to build a shop volume of $2,000 per month that's going through your shop. And that would be true of any business. You know, we say we don't have quotas, but if you aren't selling a minimum in your Starbucks or your vape store, you're out of business. Okay? And you know, no one's going to like foreclose on your lease and so forth, but you're going to quietly go out of business. And people do this, but they don't do the training and learn how to do it. So even at this, if you're a simple executive, oh my God, it's only $5,000 a year. But what happens? When you do this, you move from being a W-2 person to a 1099. You move from being a W-2 person to a 1099. What do I mean by that? You're not just getting wages and salaries. Maybe you're still working for the vape store at the front, but you're building a business on the side. And then everything you do is tax deductible. And that changes everything. And I don't care if it's not our business, but find a business that you can start to build. And then my flight, my Ubers, my everything. If I go to Las Vegas and I talk to the flight attendant about breast cancer, I wouldn't talk to her about breast cancer, but I'll put our cleansing tone on her hand. And an airplane is one of the driest environments on the planet. It's drier than the Mojave Desert. And do they care about their skin? You bet. I almost always, if there's time in the long flight, I'll talk to the flight attendants. Tax deductible! That whole flight. I could be going to Tahiti. And if I talk to the flight attendant, it's tax deductible. I went to Buenos Aires, Argentina to visit my son. I enrolled our tour guide. She was wonderful. Tax deductible. Get this, the IRS will let you run 3 years of losses before they'll start to pay attention. And we had a program called TaxBot, which makes this all easy, and there's another program online. And basically, you should run right now, starting today, $15,000 to $20,000 a year in expenses for this business. Let's say it's $10,000. That's equivalent to a $16,000 raise at work immediately, because of the math. Who here is expecting a $16,000 raise next week? Okay? Sorry, I'm getting into kind of nerd-like accounting, but it may not be this business, but find something. So then parallel to your JOB. When you get up to here, you have 4 people who you've helped to be successful, and the average income is $34,000. It's so important, half of these people get to here, that the company has an all-expense-paid trip for 2 to a fabulous location. The next one we're working for is Orlando, and it's going to be a fabulous trip. It could be to Bethesda, but it'll be a first-class trip, and it's not just about where you're going, but who you're going with. You learn so much from other people. When you get out to, you do this, you do it again, and this may take 4 years, it may take 3 years, but you learn to have a spot and people who are looking for what we have instead of forcing it on other people. And then you learn how to train and motivate. You become a leader yourself. It's quicker than to get to 8, and you do it 3 times, and the average income is over $600,000 a year. It's a Wall Street income. It's a pretty good lawyer income, right?
Yep.
So the next trip is to Maui, and for people in Hawaii, that's not so great, but it's a pretty fabulous thing. If you haven't been on a New Skin trip. So we've actually served over $400 million. In the interest of time, I'm going to go over this. I'm just going to skip this. But basically, this is a halal kosher rice and beans mixture, which we encourage every distributor to sponsor at least one child. This is the landlocked African nation of Malawi, which is our first poster child for this. 70% about, right? Yeah. So a pretty good wave, right? So when you see a wave coming, do you wait till the wave's on you, or do you start paddling a little bit ahead of time? You start paddling. You got to paddle ahead of time. Sorry, I'm using my Hawaii analogies here. We're expected to go now from about 2.5 billion over the next 4 to 5 years to 10 billion. That's a $7 billion increase, not a $300 or $400 million increase. Which wave do you want to catch?
7.
Yeah, 7 billion is a pretty good wave. That's a tsunami. Let me tell you what it's about. This is not part of the tsunami, but these are cool. And there were 2 competitor companies, each about $1 billion. In 4 years, they created $1 billion in sales in this. And we evaluated the products, and we thought we could do better. The essential oils, we take it to a standard of purity that no one else has. And they're amazing. Anyone here ever use essential oils?
Yes.
Okay. They have immediate effects on your mood and can on your health. So this is the big one. On November 12th this year, we launched in a limited time offer, Age Lock Youth. And I'll come back to it, and then we launched ageLOC Me in 2016. We've already launched this in Europe, and I think we do it in Greater China in April next year. So we're kind of staggering it around, these launches. So first, youth. I am totally pumped about this. I have been in on it for 1 week. I got some friends from Singapore where we first rolled it out. They bought it, and I paid for 10 bottles of it, and someone brought it to the global convention. In 3 days, I noticed that suddenly I was more clear thinking. When I work out, I don't get sore. Who else has anyone else been on youth? I'm tired of my own voice. Can you tell me, what do you feel how long have you been on it?
I've just been on it for a few weeks, but not too much significantly. I just am moving forward. I like being on it. I can't say miracles are happening right now, but I have confidence that I'm going to do great as I keep going with it.
Anyone else been on it?
I used to have a cartilage in the set up the supplement I take a day. When I started this one, I stopped cartilage because I heard it's going to help your joint, and I didn't feel anything after a week. Still, my joint is still so comfortable. See, this part is really covered at this moment, and I have a lot of energy with that.
Yeah. So ours is a testimonial-based business. Unfortunately, so are a lot of network marketing companies are only testimonies. This juice, drink this juice, the blind see and the lame walk. Okay. The differentiation with us is we do whole formula human clinicals. And there are 3 of them that are being done right now. One is on the brain, the other is on inflammation. And at convention, we got to see a couple of slides. So the inflammation one is sunburn, which is relevant to me in Hawaii. People who go on ageLOC Youth, the inflammation from a sunburn is 50% less if they've been on it for 1 month. Basically, as we get older, everything is inflammation. All that soreness is inflammation. One of the ways that we age and we die is inflammation. This goes right to the root of inflammation. The other is on the brain. And in Salt Lake City, they're doing MRIs on people's brains. And basically, wherever you want to see more activity, and more youthful activity in the brain, it's happening. And most of us feel it within days. I asked Joe Chang at Corner to Make Convention, when are you going to publish all these? And he said, we have to study these for another year. I'm not holding my breath because the company's doing it, but as soon as they publish these, what's the FDA going to do?
Regulate.
Yeah. They're going to say, that's really interesting about the brain and the MRI. We want a 3-stage, $300 million. You're pulling that off the market. That has the same effects of most better than most pharmaceuticals. So know this, because I work with doctors, and it's very frustrating. Show me the whole formula human clinicals. And we can show them in PubMed.gov 1,800 entries of green tea on cancer, inflammation, so forth. But those are single ingredients. And we can give you bibliographies of single ingredient studies, and there are lots, but packing all those ingredients together. What we've done with ageLOC Youth is look at all the ingredients from all the diets in the world to come up with a magic elixir. So we've spent 36 years in gene expression research at LifeGen to get that unique ingredient blend. So you would have to have Morning Joe in Tokyo, your breakfast in Okinawa, your morning coffee in Scandinavia, your lunch in Sicily, and your afternoon snack in Alaska, and your dinner would be Peruvian blue corn. How many here have Peruvian blue corn on a regular basis? So yes, you can get, these are ingredients you cannot get from your diet. So everyone says, oh, it's good, I'm going to eat a healthy diet. Good, go for it. And that's, sometimes you'll hear that, oh, that life pack, that's a little expensive, I'll eat better. Great! Come back in a month and we'll scan you. Do they? Do they improve their diet? No, they don't. People don't change. So, it's already out. If you're a Ruby and above, you're going to have 20 votes. Okay? And there are strategies with this and where you place the volume, and you work with people in your organization that you can build. And it's not just a limited time offer, it's long-term organization building. There's a bunch of questions about this I can cover. And in the interest of time, I'm going to be very quick. Does anyone know what Keurig coffee is? Keurig coffee, the K-Cups? When they came out with that, someone said, that'll never work. Those are twice as expensive as coffee. It's the convenience. Anyone love cleaning up coffee grinds?
No.
Right. And then they built billions of dollars in sales on that, and that's what we're doing with this. We've spent $30 million, actually it's around $40 million now, 12 patents pending on a device that will deliver. You're going to answer a few questions, you'll know the latitude and longitude of where you are, and it'll basically customize to your skin of 2,000 different varieties of skin, and you put your hand under there, and it delivers exactly what you need, not too little, not too much. And it's hermetically sealed, so there's no need for any preservatives. As soon as you take a skincare and you put your finger in it, you put bacteria in it. So they have to have parabens. People go, parabens, it's a carcinogen! Our parabens are from blueberries. Do you know how blueberries stop from turning moldy? They have parabens. It's a natural paraben. We have the parabens in our skincare of 3 blueberries. Sounds pretty toxic to me, right? But you get people going, parabens. Well, now, there are no parabens whatsoever. Okay? So for those people who are just, 3 blueberries, that sounds toxic. I won't use Nu Skin. In fact, they'll go out and you'll see in websites, Nu Skin uses parabens. Don't go near it. I mean, if you're going to do any research on us, you're going to go on to Google Nu Skin, and the top two of the top 10 sites are going to be hate Nu Skin sites, I guarantee you. Anytime you get a newbie, first thing they'll do, Google Nu Skin. Oh my God, parabens! And then they're going to Facebook everyone they know. You know what? I was introduced to Nu Skin, and they put toxic parabens in everything. So when those people are not doing due diligence, but that's the negative power of the social media. So you have to warn somebody before they do that. If that's the extent of your due diligence, please don't get involved with any business, because you're not doing the due diligence. So I complete a tangent there. It's more than 500, and it's over 2,000. It'll be available October in Europe, and it's available now in Europe. So the window of opportunity, you could start now and paddle, or you could wait and say, I don't really believe this, or I'm really busy now. I have a couple of friends that'd be interested, but I don't want to tell them to Pat and Marguerite, because I've got to use this product for 2 years first, and then I'll allow Pat and Marguerite to talk to my friend. If you do that, and a lot of people do that, you're going to start later. And the difference is this in terms of income. The power of compounding. You start investing when you're 21 years old or when you're 51. What's better?
21.
Okay. When you start a business, do you start next year?
No.
You start now.
Now.
Because for a lot of people, it's always next year, isn't it?
Yeah.
And guess what? Those people are in the 99%. And they'll always be. And you can't really help them. That's the most frustrating thing. So these are the various ways to get started with this. It's called the buy 3 and get 1 free. What are you interested in? Do you want to just be a consumer? You can get something. There's over 300 products in our catalog, but if you're interested in having younger skin or losing weight, there's something that's designed for you. And so, you can, if you decide you actually want to become an executive, you can start that process. You buy 3, you get 1 free, and you either have a more product experience or you have some people in your life who you just sell it to them at cost. If you have 3 people who want to try our facial spa, you buy 3, give it to them at cost if you want, or you can retail markup, and yours is free. And what business can you start where you get your money back within a week? There isn't. Okay? So the problem with this business is there's very little financial risk. Isn't that horrible? So the question is, can I do this? And what people will ask is basically 3 questions. Can I do this? Is it worth my valuable time? And do I want to do it with you? And that's what you've got to ask yourself. And we are part of One Team Global. And there's several of these alliances where people who are in different lines that get together, and they've put together on one page what it needs to do this business. My sons are going to graduate from college. There's no guarantee after $240,000 that we spent that there's going to be a job. But instead, we can teach you a system of mentoring and support, what the core habits are, what to do. And if you're coachable and you're willing to put in a little bit of time every day, you will be successful in this business. So, for me, it was really, I was kind of desperate. Like I said, I was losing $50,000 a month in 2008. I needed to have something. I didn't want to go back to work for the man. And besides, the man wasn't hiring in 2008. And this has given me a level of freedom, financial and time, that I never imagined. It wouldn't be possible if I were still working for an investment bank. So you decide which of the Allen Pease questions are of value to you. And for someone who's new, sorry, I have to pick on the new person. What did you like about what you saw tonight? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate something called, because you're kind of part of the family here. We're showing you both levels. I'm going to show you what's called a soft close. I hate the term to close in business or in sales because it sounds like you're trapping an animal. Close them! But it's a way of just gently getting to someone to what they want. So humor me and just, I'm sorry, your name again?
Tony.
Tony, so just humor me. What did you like about what you saw today? And tell me honestly why you humor me.